Imagine walking out your back door and stepping onto your boat and heading towards the Gulf. What a great feeling, isn't it? For many people looking at homes with boating access in Naples, Florida, that is the dream. And many people here in Naples live that dream. But not all boating access is the same. So let's talk about that. Some waterfront homes have direct Gulf access, meaning there are no fixed bridges between your dock and the open water. Other homes have restricted access, which mean fixed bridges, those are the ones you have to go under, shallow canals, longer idle time, like having to go around a bridge that your boat can't fit under, or limits based upon the size and height of your boat. And this is where buyers can make a very expensive mistake if they don't do their homework. A home may look perfect online. It may have a beautiful canal view. It may even have a dock. And obviously, you want a dock if you're going to have a boat. But if the bridge clearance, the water depth, the canal width, or route to the Gulf does not work for your boat, then it may not be the right boating opportunity for you. I'll give you a perfect example. I wrote a contract on a home once before out of Naples, and it clearly stated that it had boating access. But because I wanted to take care of my buyer, I drove hours away to take a look at this lot. And in fact, the bridge had like this much room underneath of it. Immediately canceled that contract. So today, I want to break down the difference between direct access and restricted access canal homes in Naples, and how to think about which one fits your lifestyle, your boat, and your budget. I'm Chris Alley, a Naples, Florida realtor since the year 2000 and certified luxury home specialist. I help buyers and sellers in boating, beach, golf, and gated communities make better real estate decisions by doing the due diligence upfront. And when it comes to waterfront homes, that due diligence is extremely important. Because with boating properties, you are not just buying the house. You are buying the access. You are buying the dock situation. You are buying the route to open water. And sometimes you are buying limitations. So let's start with the Gulf access. A direct access boating home means you can travel from your dock to the Gulf without going under any fixed bridge. And that is one of the biggest advantage for serious boaters, especially if you want a big fishing boat or you want a big boat that you can put lots of people. In other words, a yacht. If you have a larger boat, a center console with a tall hard sport fishing boat with a tower, or a vessel with outriggers, direct access may be very important. The reason is simple. Fixed bridges create height limits. Even if the canal is deep enough and the dock is large enough, the bridge clearance may still prevent your boat from getting out. And that is why direct access is usually more valuable. It gives the owner more flexibility. It can work for a wider range of boats. I have a customer that has a large home right on the water, Gulf access, and guess what? She just has a real small boat. But when she goes to sell that home is going to be worth a lot more than a home that has to go underneath of a bridge, because it may reduce travel time to the Gulf. And it often appeals to a larger boating buyer pool when it is time to resell. In Naples, direct access is especially important in premium boating areas like Port Royal, Aqualane Shores, Royal Harbor, Oyster Bay, parts of Isla Capri, and other waterfront areas where buyers care about getting to open water without restrictions. Now, does that mean every direct access property is perfect? No, it's not. You still have to check the water depth, and you still have to check the dock size. You still have to check the seawall condition. And you still need to look at the canal width, the turning ability, the lift capacity, the electric at the dock, the water at the dock, permitting, and how long it takes to get to the Gulf. But direct access removes one major issue: no fixed bridge. And that's great. For larger boats, that can be the difference between a property that works and a property that does not. Now, let's talk about restricted access canal homes. Restricted access usually means there is some kind of limitation between the dock and the open water. The most common one is a fixed bridge. That bridge may limit the height of the boat that can pass under it. For example, a smaller center console may fit. A flatboat may fit. A bay boat may fit. But a larger boat with a tower may not. And even if the boat technically fits, tides and water levels can matter. I've seen a lot of these boats when they come up to a bridge, and I've seen people with these types of boats that are on another side of a bridge. They come up to it and the tide is high, and they literally have to wait for the water to go down for them to either get out or to get back home. A bridge that looks workable at one tide may be too tight at another. And that is why buyers should not rely on a rough guess. You need to verify the bridge clearance, the boat height, the tide conditions, and the route. Restricted access can also involve other issues. The canal may be shallower, and the route to the Gulf may take longer. There may be more no-wake zones, and the canal may be narrower. The dock may only support a smaller boat, or the boating experience may be better for casual cruising than for someone who wants quick offshore access. But restricted access homes can still be very attractive. They often cost less than direct access waterfront homes, and they may offer more privacy. They may have quieter canals. There's some places where they have these direct access homes and there are boats driving past at all times during the day. They may work well for smaller boats, kayaks, paddleboards, jet skis, or buyers who just enjoy the waterfront setting more than serious offshore boating. So the question is not whether restricted access is bad. The question is whether it fits your boat and your soon-to-be lifestyle or the lifestyle that you have now. If you have a smaller boat and you enjoy sunset cruises, local waterfront restaurants, backwater exploring, or just being on the water, a restricted access home, it probably makes more sense. But if you have a larger offshore boat, a taller tower, or you want fast, easy Gulf access, then restricted access may become very frustrating, or it could be a non-negotiable thing for you. And this is where buyers need to be honest with themselves. Are you buying the home mainly for the view, or are you buying it for a small boat? Or are you buying it for serious fishing? Are you buying it because you want to run offshore? Are you buying it because you want the quickest route to Gordon's Pass? Those are very, very different goals, and they may lead to very different properties. Now let's talk about travel time. So in Naples, boating access is not just about whether you can reach the Gulf. It's about how long it takes. Two homes can both have Gulf access, but the experience can be completely different. One home may be close to Gordon Pass with a shorter idle time and a faster route out to the open water, and another home may require a much longer ride through, going through canals, bays, turns, and no-wake zones before you ever even reach the Gulf. And that time matters. If you are a serious boater, a short route can make the property more valuable to you. It can mean more spontaneous boat trips. Like if you're just sitting on the sofa and you decide that you want to go out on the boat because it's a beautiful day right now, then you go. It can mean less time idling. It can mean easier fishing. It can mean easier fishing mornings. And for you fishermen, you know, you like to get up really early. Do you really want to spend all that time if you don't have to going through all these canals and the no wake areas? It can mean less hassle when the weather changes. If all of a sudden that you start to see it storming and your home doesn't have any bridges and you can get there quicker, all the more advantage in keeping you and the people on your boat safe. And it can mean more time actually enjoying the water instead of just getting to the water. But if you are a more casual boater, a longer no-wake ride may not bother you. It's actually pretty enjoyable to go through. You can talk to the people that are on your boats and see some of the sights, dolphins swimming. Some people enjoy the slow ride. They enjoy the quiet canals. They enjoy the scenery. They are not trying to get offshore quickly. And that is why the best boating property is not the same for everyone. It depends on your boating style. So let's talk about boat size. Before buying a home with boating access, you need to know the actual measurements of your boat. And more than likely, you know it. You know not just the length. You need to think about the beam, which is the width of the boat. And you probably already know that unless you are buying a boat after you buy the property. You need to think about the draft, which is how much water the boat needs below it. You need to think about overall height, including towers, antennas, radars, hardtops, those outriggers, and anything else above the waterline. You also need to think about the lift capacity. A dock may have a lift, but that does not mean it can handle your boat or your boat that you're going to buy after you buy new property. The lift may not be wide enough. It may not be strong enough. It may not be positioned correctly, or it may need upgrades. And those upgrades may require permits or approvals. That is why boating due diligence should happen early. You do not want to fall in love with a house and then later find out that your boat will not work there. What a bummer. The smart move is to check the boating details before you make a final decision. So let's talk about the value. Direct access homes usually command a premium because they solve a major problem for boaters. They give boaters more freedom. They appeal to larger vessels. They remove the fixed bridge restrictions, and they often have stronger long-term buyer demand. But that does not mean they never reduce in price, because that would be saying that we have a crystal ball and we know everything. Even luxury direct access homes need to be priced correctly. But the access itself is very valuable. Restricted access homes may trade at a lower price point because the buyer pool is smaller. And being a boater myself, I believe that there's all types of boaters and houses for each type. Not every boater can use them. Not every boat will fit. And some buyers will eliminate the property immediately if there's a fixed bridge or limited depth. Which, by the way, if you are looking for a boating home and you have certain requirements such as canal width, that is a setting that your real estate agent can set for you before you even waste your time looking at a home that has limited depth or width. But that lower price can create opportunity. For the right buyer, a restricted access home can offer a waterfront lifestyle at a lower entry point. You may still get the canal view. You may still get a dock, and you may still get privacy. You may still enjoy boating. You just need to understand the limitations. And let's face it, you've worked hard to deserve that new boating home. Now let's take a look at this from the seller's side. If you are selling a home with boating access, you need to be very different. You need to be very clear about what type of access you have. Do not market restricted access like it is the same as direct access. Serious boating buyers will figure it out quickly. And if they feel that they've been misled, they're just going to move on. Instead, the better strategy is to position the property correctly. If it is direct access, highlight that clearly. Talk about the route to the Gulf. Talk about the dock. Talk about the lift. Talk about water depth, if verified. Talk about bridge-free access. And talk about proximity to Gordon Pass or other routes, especially if you are in Naples. If it is restricted access, be honest, but be strategic. Explain what kind of boat the property may work for. Explain the privacy, explain the quiet canal setting, explain the lifestyle, explain the value compared to direct access properties. And when I say explain, I mean hire a real estate agent that can explain all this for you. You're obviously not going to be the one marketing your own property. The goal is not to make every boating home sound the same. The goal is to attract the right buyer. So now, let's talk about due diligence. When I'm helping a buyer evaluate homes with boating access in Naples, these are some of the questions that I want answered. Is there a fixed bridge? What is the bridge clearance? Does clearance change with the tide? What is the water depth at the dock? What is the depth along the route? How wide is the canal? Can the boat turn safely? And what is the dock size? Is there a boat lift? What is the lift capacity? Is there electric and water at the dock? What is the condition of that seawall? And are permits available for dock changes? How long does it take to reach the Gulf? How much of the route is no wake? Are there any association rules or local restriction? And does the property actually fit the boat the buyer owns or plans to buy? All these questions are things that I ask myself, and I also ask whoever it is that's looking for the property. And these are all good questions, and many of them I already know because I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. Other questions are I ask the buyer, what kind of boat is it that you are going to buy? Because some of these things may not even pertain to them. They might not even care. As long as they can take their boat to be able to do the things that they want to do, more than likely, I know the answer to 90% of those questions. These questions matter because boating property mistakes can be expensive. A buyer may think they are buying freedom, but they may actually be buying limitations, and those limitations can affect enjoyment, resale, value, and future marketability. Now, let's compare the two different lifestyles. Direct access is about freedom, it's about flexibility, and it is about larger boats. It's about fewer restrictions, and it is also about faster access to open water. It is usually the strongest choice for serious boaters, for offshore fishing, for larger vessels, and buyers who want the highest level of boating confidence. Restricted access is about value, it's about privacy, lifestyle, and a different price point. It can work very well for smaller boats, casual boaters, kayaks, paddle boarders, and buyers who want water views without paying the full direct access premium. And let's not forget those jet skis. Neither one is automatically right or wrong. The wrong choice is buying without understanding the difference. If you're looking at homes with boating access in Naples, do not start with the house first. Start with your boat first. What do you own now? What do you plan to own in the future? How often will you boat? Where do you want to go? And how quickly do you want to get there? Do you need bridge free access? Or do you even care about the deep water? Do you need a larger dock? Do you want privacy more than speed? And once you know that, then you can match the property to the boating lifestyle. And that is how you avoid buying the wrong waterfront home. And here is the bottom line. Naples does have some of the best waterfront living in Florida, but boating access is not all the same. Direct Gulf access usually gives you more freedom. It gives you more flexibility and stronger appeal for larger boats. Restricted access can offer privacy, charm, and a lower price point, but it may come with bridge, depth, size, and travel time limits. So if you are buying, verify everything before you commit. If you are selling, market the access honestly and clearly. And if you're comparing waterfront homes in Naples, remember this: the dock is just not an accessory. It is access. It is part of the value. I'm Chris Alley. If you're thinking about buying or selling a waterfront home in Naples, I can help you evaluate the property, the access, the ownership cost, and the details that matter most before you make a move. Subscribe for more Naples, Florida real estate updates, community tours, and boating lifestyle videos. I'll see you on the next video. And remember, people like you call me each and every day. Bye for now.